Today, let's pull up bar chart. We're going to learn how to get started learning for free. Today, let's see here. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to turn on the chat so I can see any questions that might come on. And now let me share my screen. 1 second. Let's see here. Zoom. And oh, nice. It sent out a notification that we are live on YouTube, y'all. All right, let me pull up my screen here for bar chart desktop 2. Let's pull it up. Google Chrome, share. All right. I think we're in there like swimwear. Okay. All right. So, a lot of people come to me and say, "Hey, where do I get started investing? How do I start learning? Do you know any books? Do you have any videos?" And first off, I do want to say if you were to go to Bar Charts YouTube, like let's go to YouTube. Bar Chart. Um, I actually do video that you see on socials. There's webinars here. John Rowland does a great job with these webinars. Rick Orford, a lot of great trading videos. There's another guy, Gavin. But if you go into the videos, you'll be able to see everything here. Let me see if I can find one from Gavin. This is Finding Winning Option Trades. This guy Gavin's pretty legit. But John Rowland, Rick, Gavin, these are all great. And then I do these ones with the title here that kind of have that kind of style. Okay, so if you look at any of these are sort of like how-to videos for bar chart. All right, now if you're on bar chart, you can access this under the Learn tab. Okay, so if you ever come to bar chart and you want to learn any of this stuff, come over to Site Education. Okay, so you'll see that video right here. Okay, and then if you want to go on the YouTube, you can watch it there. But there's a lot of videos here where you want to learn how to use flip charts. Literally, I've done a video on it. Okay. Um, a lot of great topics here too. So they actually have different types of like how to walk through guides as well. So not all of them are videos, but with the videos, you'll get a little bit of a little introduction here, and then you can watch the video. But like I said, if you want like a cheat sheet, there's this as well. Okay. Now that is for the website. So if you're trying to understand how to navigate the website, what is this data I'm looking at on the website, you can come here and get a lot of that information. Okay. Now if you're wanting to learn about options, okay, which is a different beast, you can come over here to this options learning center. Okay. Everything you need here. Like let's say you want to learn about puts, right? Just type it in and it can say, hey, put options explain selling versus buying options, right? You click on these, you get a whole lesson here. All right. Like free. And the cool thing is, it's over different things. So let's say you want to learn about options Greeks. Boom, right here. Okay. All this information totally free, breaking down the calculations, what they are, what they mean. Another great tool on here is the profit and loss charts. So you'll want to learn about these because if you're an options trader, these help you kind of visualize the trade and the profit and the loss. Okay. So a lot of people don't understand straddles and stuff like that, but a lot of those trades, if you were to see the profit and the loss charts, you would start to kind of understand what these trades mean, right? Well, these trades profit if a trade or a price or the underlying asset stays within this range in price, right? Imagine trying to profit on something that's not moving. That's what this trade is for. But you wouldn't understand that unless you saw it, right? Because a lot of people think, when I mention straddles or strangles, and different types of butterflies, condors, it's confusing because you can't see it, right? A lot of people are visual learners anyway, right? A lot of people use textbooks. Maybe that helps them learn a little easier. So this is your textbook on the go. right? You literally have everything you need here from the actual tools as well as the lesson to learn how to use these tools. So having this information here can help you visualize what these trades look like. So if you want to see what an iron condor looks like, you can see it there, right? And that profit and loss tool, let me actually pull it up for. Actually, no, I don't want to go too in deep about learning anything. This is all about where to learn about stuff, okay? Now, a lot of you all are going to hear about technical indicators. You can learn about them under the Learn tab. Click under Technical Indicators, okay? Here, you can learn about so many, okay? Some of the most common are moving averages, whether they're EMAs or just standard moving averages. So we can learn here and learn what is it calculating and what does this mean, right? You can come here and learn about everything, man. ADX, RSI is another popular one when you're learning about overbought and oversold conditions. Okay. So come here and study this stuff, especially if you're new and a beginner. There's also these webinars. Okay. So let's say you want to learn about ADX, right? Oh, well, that's a little too much of a cheat right there. We just did a video on ADX. Let's say RSI. So you can type in RSI here. Let's see if we got some videos. Yeah, we got some videos on RSI. Okay. So you can literally come in here and learn about RSI. Then let's select another topic, cryptocurrency. What we got? Boom, 5 questions to ask before investing in cryptocurrency, right? Let's see what else. Getting started. A lot of great classes on getting started. So all of this information is right here for you. If you just come in here and, scroll through here and get started. Okay. So let me go under another, let's say bar chart trading signals. This is actually really cool because a lot of people ask about this. Like, does this opinion matter and what does it mean? So this breaks down what it's calculating and the different things that it's using in order to come up with this opinion. Now, what is opinion? Like, let's say I want to go look at a stock like Nvidia. You'll see this bar chart opinion right here. You can also click on it separately and get all of these indicators broken down. Okay. So a lot of people do ask me, like, what does the percent mean? And it's because, like, how many of these is it hitting? Let's see something else. Let's think of something that might be down. CSX. I saw this earlier. Nope, CSX. CSX. So this one I think is lower on it. So you can see here that it's saying, okay, well, based on these indicators, it's sell, but based on these, it's a buy. And you can pull up the chart for these as well to figure out like what is it saying on this signal. So you can see here the buy signal that it did have on this particular trend that is based on the 20 and 200 day. It's come right back down to that price here. Okay, so oh, how did this stock come up on the screen? Or I think I was looking for, I don't know. I saw the stock come up earlier. I was talking about, where to look for trades, but new recommendations is a great place. Okay. So if you're like, I understand where to get started, I understand the education part. If you're looking for stuff, you can come here under new recommendations. So if you, let's switch this over to, is there stocks 50 and 20? No, we don't have any. What's going on? I think it might be a little error. I don't know what's going on with this data. Let me try ETFs. Let's go to new recommendations. Yeah, something. Oh, the market just closed, so maybe it's like doing something with data right now. But this is where you can come to find these different trades that will automatically populate here. Let's see if we can get some ETF signal upgrades. Yeah, so you can see here that, hey, it used to be a sell, now it's switching over to buy. Okay. And I was telling people too, you can switch these to like, do you want to look at volume, right? To figure out where are people trading. But these are ETFs. You don't always want to chase everything in ETF, but you can at least see, okay, people are looking at home builders, right? Which is interesting because we actually posted about this home. Well, let me show you. If you come here, if you want me to guide you through the market, come over to the news tab, click on all authors, and under bar chart insights, we actually talk about a lot of this stuff. So I break down different news pieces and show you how to use different tools to sort of, follow the news. Like in this news piece, we were actually talking about home builder ETFs. So you can see here that XHB, home construction, because these are things that will benefit, right? Industrials, home builders, financials. These are things that will benefit if we have rate cuts, okay? Because the cost of borrowing will be cheaper. So CapEx will go up, as well as some of these smaller companies like the Russell 2000 ETF, IWM, will start to see some traction there as well. So I break all of this down, showing you how to use different indicators. And then there's a clip that I take from some of the things on YouTube to kind of have somebody else kind of break it down, but this makes it a little more digestible and actionable, you know? So this is under Bar Chart Insights. You can follow us as an author here, but this is a lot of news-based um, action strategies, right? Across different things. Okay. Cannabis, cryptocurrency, everything. Okay. But under the investing, like let's say you now understand the market, and you're looking for different themes for investing. Like maybe you heard somebody talk about energy, right? Come over here and look at clean energy stocks. Maybe you heard somebody talk about dividends and you want to start looking into dividends. You can click them here. Maybe you heard about quantum or AI or EV or fintech. Maybe you heard about what Warren Buffett is buying, right? You can come in here and get all of that information right here. Okay. Now you can track politicians. You can also track insiders. Okay. Now this is interesting because a lot of people sell for a lot of different reasons, right? But they only buy for one reason. So sometimes if you come in here, you can click on the buy for here. Like, let's click on that. And why? Hold on. I think it's because this thing is hovering over it. Let's see here. Well, you can see there's 340 on 814. Okay, yeah, it's pulling up the 814 date here. So it's pulling up the date here. We can see what we had here on that particular date. Let's go back to insider trading. We can see in particular which stocks are having the most trades, whether they're buys. So you can see a lot of people are buying this Renaissance, a lot of people are selling Meta. Um, you can see here a lot of selling in Amazon. Any buys? A lot of people sell for a lot of reasons. Like you can see here, the CEO of Palantir just sold. Even another huge investor for Palantir sold. A lot of sales, but if you change it over to buy, you only buy for one reason. Okay, so you look in here and maybe you can change into, I want to see over 1 million. Who's making the biggest buys, right? So you can see these are some people that are making some pretty substantial investments in these companies, right? Asana, Reynolds Consumer Products, Western Union. So you can kind of dive deeper into these to figure out like why are they doing that, right? So if you're somebody that likes to research things, there's different ways that you can kind of come up with these ideas. You can also choose the bar chart screeners, okay? So this will give you different types of themes that you can track when it comes to technicals, whether it's for stocks, ETFs, or options, okay? And these are just places to kind of get you started. Plus, of course, I've got you a video here breaking this down. Okay. And a lot of these videos, man, it's like it's in paradise. I'm giving y'all some views in the video and everything. Okay. So if you want to learn anything, click under the Learn tab. This is where you're going to get started. Okay. Let me make sure I don't have any questions. All right. Nice, 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 nice. Okay, cool. But if y'all have any questions in the future, make sure you drop a comment on here. I'm always checking the chat here to make sure I don't, miss any questions, or maybe I'm making a video on some things that you want to learn. Okay. But bar chart is a great way to learn about these different topics. You can come in here, maybe you want to learn about the Greeks, like let's say you want to learn about Delta. You can type that in and see which screeners you can use with these and get a brief description. Okay. So like I said, there's so many ways for you all to get started and learn different things, right? So if you want to learn about ETFs, come over here to the archive webinars. Let's type in ETFs, see if something pops up. Boom. Here you go. Use ETFs to profit from appreciation in futures markets, global markets, and opportunities, portfolio diversification, cannabis stocks, stock market opportunities. So these are all videos you can watch to get some insight on different topics. All right. Now, what's another place for you? Options education, as well as free newsletters. Okay, these free newsletters are key. You can come in here and get updates across the market for totally free. Now, these are members' emails, but these are totally free right here. And I do a little bit of contributing to the bar chart briefs. So these are some great ones. All of these are great, depending on which ones you want to check out. Chart of the day is cool. Gives you a chart every day to check out. Um, Commodities, if you like that. I do like paying attention to certain things like gold, energy, stuff like that. But yeah, great resources here and totally free. All right, now y'all explore all of these different menus to find out what you're looking for. I mentioned before on the video, looking at stock market sectors kind of shows you what's moving in the day or over a certain period of time. So if you're looking for opportunities now, you can see that healthcare is down. Okay. So you're like, oh, well, what's in healthcare? Or how do I know what to look for in healthcare? Well, we can go into ETFs, go to the ETF finder. This is a little gem, this is a little bonus tip, right? So we're like, all right, healthcare is down. I want to look for equities, right? And I want to look for a sector. Okay. I want to look for healthcare since it's down, right? We'll keep it open. You can kind of narrow down what you want, but we'll keep it pretty broad but you can, if you wanted to narrow it down to devices, equipment, or pharmaceuticals or biotech, you can. But we'll say, okay, now we're looking at healthcare. Where's the volume, right? XLV. All right. So it's like, okay, healthcare is down and XLV has the most volume. So I mean, what's assets under management? XLV is the biggest, right? So if I'm looking for investments, first I want to find out what sectors are down and do I believe that they can make a comeback. So if we dive deeper into XLV, now it's not always going to be the top one. You can, kind of dive into what is in the holdings. So if we click onto the holdings here, which is under constituents, so right here on the menu, you'll see constituents, but we can see what is it holding. Okay, it's giving us a little bit of Eli Lilly, AbbVie, United Health, Merck, and all of these are stocks that are down, right? So we're buying a little piece of all of these, right? And when we look at the chart here, it's down as well, right? So from its highs, we're getting a discount. Now, this isn't financial advice. This isn't say buying it. Who knows if healthcare could come back. But one thing we do know is Warren Buffett's buying it up. Like if we go into UNH, like we'll do it from the holdings, right? So we'll go back to the holdings and we'll say, all right, well, what's been going on with some of these stocks, right? And so when we go under insider trading, we can see here that insiders have been buying up this little dip. Okay, so if we go under transaction types, they've been buying in May, right? So when the price was down, they were buying that up. Okay, and then if we add politicians, we can see that so were they, and they still are in August, right? So it's like, okay, if you don't want direct exposure to UNH, but you want maybe an ETF that holds UNH, you can go under related ETFs. So you can kind of, I'm showing you how you can do it from a sector look, or you can do it from, okay, I'm looking at UNH. I heard UNH is down. Are the ETFs that hold it down, right? So you can see here that, some of these are over leveraged into UNH. Okay. But if you can find something that maybe has a larger assets under management, so these are more of your broad S&P 500 ones. Let's see who has the most volume. See, we can see that XLV is that healthcare one that, it's high in volume and it's focused on healthcare. So if we're looking for something that's focused on healthcare, out of all of these, whether it's broad market or large cap growth or equal weight S&P 500 type of ETFs, this one specifically is on healthcare. So if we're still looking for exposure in healthcare, it's showing us out of the ones that hold UNH, this one's going to give us more exposure to it while having a high amount of volume. Okay. Now, like I said, this is an investment advice, but also too, you all don't need to own five different ETFs on S&P 500, right? I hear a lot of people talking about VOO and SPY and VTI or something like that, right? So all of these are essentially giving you the same thing, so you don't need to buy them all. Okay. Focus now this one's different because like I said, it's focusing on healthcare sector, right? And so if we then go back to where we started, right, on stock market sectors, we can see that healthcare is the thing that was moving in today, as well as industrials, right? But over time, like I said, we got real estate down, we got energy down, and healthcare on discount. So we'll start to see some of these things start to move. Let's look over the week. You can see the energy has been the major mover now, right? Real estate's trying to cook up some pressure, healthcare is trying to turn over a leaf. This is how you can kind of follow different sectors to kind of understand where are the opportunities. Because at the end of the day, we're not trying to buy what's already up. Okay. Now, there are some great things that fall within that sort of higher sector, right? So maybe you have some consumer discretionary or technology stocks that are up in the sector, but down right now, right? And there's different ways to find those that we've gone over in the past. So make sure y'all go under the Learn tab and click Site Education, the Options Education. So many different videos on here to help you find what you're looking for. Okay. I hope y'all have some questions. Drop them on here. I'll make sure to get to you all. But this is just for everybody that's asking, where do I get started? Right? Like you want to start investing, you want to get in. Everybody has FOMO once the market starts to hit new highs. But really, the best times to invest are when markets are down. So we can see from the S&P 500, we've gone over this before as well, but just if we were to look at seasonal returns, right, we can see that right now we could potentially get some opportunities. And there are some right now that are down. So we can see some weakness right here. But September is going to be where the real, you know, maybe the market will push through it. Maybe we'll have a dip, right? But we know statistically from historical data, we have the best opportunities for something here in March or in September, but also in March as well as one of these. It usually has dips within the month and recovers in April strong. So wherever there's strong months, that means that the market was starting down and just recovered within these times. So you can see that April coming out of March is strong, right? May usually just has little pullbacks before the summer, but July is strong because it's that last push before we get this weakness that becomes like the tops in August. And then September, we start to see that weakness start to flush out, right? October, we recover from September, might have a little bit of weakness going into it, even in it, but we usually recover. And November is strong because there's a lot of election results that happen around November. So once November comes around, there's a lot more clarity in sort of policies and legislations that may affect certain companies, sectors, or industries like that. Okay. So wherever you see these stronger numbers, right, you're going to see weakness before it. Okay. So we want to look for opportunities in March. In May, definitely don't be buying in July because at that point we're already hitting tops, right? But look for that weakness in August and get prepared. And September, be looking out for opportunities for things that you've been wanting to add to your portfolio that could give you some great prices because there's stocks that are already down, like I said, now that are falling behind. So Microsoft is falling down. You got Palantir's getting hit hard. These aren't, recommendations to buy or anything. It's just saying that, hey, stocks are falling. So always be prepared for this weakness around this time because there's some great opportunities. Okay. So if you're, wondering when's a great time to buy, um, look for that these months in like March and September and stuff like that. Okay. We've gone over this before. So this is about when are the best opportunities, and then what I showed you all with the ETF finder, you can kind of, dive into what exactly are you looking for. And so a lot of people are like, oh, invest in an index fund. Well, like you can find them right here. So if assets under management, like how much money is in them, so you can see VOO is popular. These two are pretty much the same thing. So buying them both is not necessary. Okay. If you look at volume, who's the highest volume? So we can see SPY has the most volume. And then you have these triple leverage. Now you can move the negative leverage ones. That way you only see, some of the ones that are more focused on just normal strategies, no leverage. Well, you do have some 3 times leveraged here, but you can take those out as well if you don't want leverage. Okay. Because those are more built for traders, not investments. Okay. See a lot of memes out here saying buy these things, but they are only meant for trading. Okay. They are not meant to be held, because if it goes down, it's 3 times down. Okay. So you don't want those type of losses. Okay. All right, that's it for today. I think I went over quite a bit. Okay, so if y'all have any questions, drop them in the chat. I appreciate y'all being here. If you want to stay updated with these lives and when they happen, make sure you turn on your notifications. And before you go, drop your boy a like. Give this video a share. Share the knowledge. Everybody needs to learn about this stuff. It's important information, and I know I get a lot of questions about it, so I want to make sure you all have the information to get started. Okay, because there's no better time to start than now. Let's see. All right. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Let me close some of this stuff out. I hope I was recording all that.